In this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to use the fantastic new inserts that match with the Advent Pop Box to make a separate card. These have been designed so that you can make as many different cards as you want using the inserts. They don't have to go with the box at all. So what we're going to do is make this sort of wedding card, which could be a save the date card, it could be a wedding invitation, even a wedding card. You see you've got the Mr. and Mrs. on the front and the bells, little spray of flowers, but when you open it out, it stands proud. So it will sit on a mantelpiece, and you could have the date running across the bottom there, or the you're invited, with all the details on the fold-in panel inside. So we're going to get started on making that. And I've already started on this, and I've cut a piece to 7.5 by 3.5 inches. And I've already put 2 of the panels in. So I'm going to put the 3rd panel in now. So I'm just going to take this decorative panel that we've got. So this is the decorative panel that comes with the box set. I'm just going to slip it in so that it's actually even on all 3 squares. If you look really carefully, you'll see an impression line of where the square finishes. So lining it up isn't a problem. We simply put that down, tape it down, and we'll pop that into our plates, and we'll run that through our die cutting machine. So we'll just pop that in. Doesn't matter where this one goes. So we'll pop that in, and we'll run that through our die cutting machine. So that's been run through the die cutting machine. And when I take this off, you're able to see that the die has been designed so that it cuts all of the detail into the die cut piece, but doesn't actually cut the square out. So you can cut out a separate square if you want to mount these as panels, or there is a die in one of the sets which actually cuts you the square as well if you want to cut it out afterwards. But that gives us the basic layout of, we've got the 2 circles and we've got the design in the middle. So I'm going to move that to one side. And what we're going to do now is we want to put this in. So you have the option, you have a die that says Mrs. and a die that says Mr. And again, these don't cut out the circle, they just cut into the card. But if you want to cut them out, you can use this die, which fits exactly around them, which cuts the beautiful heart detail into the 4 corners, but actually cuts the larger circle out as well. So they've all been designed to work together. So on this one, I'm going to do Mr. and Mrs. And again, because you've got Mr. and Mrs., you can do Mr. and Mr., Mrs. and Mrs., whatever combination you want. And it's really simple to show to put them in. And I would always suggest that you cut these after you have cut the first main panel, as you're putting a lot of pressure on and a lot of metal in there if you want to cut them all together at the same time. So once again, we're just going to simply run these through our die cutting machine. So those have been run through our die cutting machine. So I'm just going to take those off, and just take this off a little carefully. The lettering on here is very delicate. So if you start ripping them off, you'll pull the letters out. So we'll move that away to one side. And you'll see here, we've then got the Mr. and the Mrs., which is just really beautiful. And again, we can use other dies in the set. If we wanted a different colour facing inside each circle, we could use that die to give the circles to fit in with another colour behind. There's lots and lots of mix and match variations on this one. So what I'm going to do for speed is I'm just going to spray glue the back of this. Now, if you don't want to use spray glue, you can use the Craft Artist Glue Glaze, which is a fast drying, quick grab glue, which doesn't splay onto the front and is perfect for putting down delicate die cuts. And what I've got here is I've got a piece of silver card, and this is the silver glitter card from Craft Artist. So I'm just going to put my piece on top. I made it a little bit smaller, so this is actually cut down to where we went 7.5, 3.5 there. This has actually been cut down to 7.25 by 3.25. So if you're careful, you don't have any left over. If you do have a little bit showing on the front, you can trim it down, but by making that card a little bit smaller, I've only got one edge that I've got a little bit wrong. So we've got that. So there's our front panel. We now need to make up our card. So I've taken a piece of the crystal card here, and I've cut this down to 11.25 inches by 7.75 inches, and I've scored at every 3.75 inches. So this has been scored at 3.75, This one has been scored at 7.5. And the idea is then that will simply fold in just like that to give me the tri-fold card in quite a nice orientation. Again, you could actually put the Mr. and the Mrs. on there, or different panels, things like that. So denote the piece that is the front. I've then here got the Mr. and Mrs. So I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape to this, just to add a little bit of height onto it. And again, I'd suggest if you're making these, you make them and you put foam tape around everywhere. For speed, I'm just going to add a few little pieces just to get that done a little bit quicker for the demonstration. So we'll take the protective cover off those and we'll mount this on the front. And this is the point. So if you were doing this as an invitation, you would be able to print on the inside of here or handwrite on the inside of here any of the details that you want. So we're just going to frame this on. If you notice, because we went 1/4 of an inch bigger, you get the perfect frame all the way around. So we open that up, we'll fold out that piece. So we want our stopper. And all I've done is cut another piece of the crystal card and another piece of the silver glitter card, this time to 1 inch and then 1.25 inches, just to give me a nice strip. And again, if you were doing this as a save the date card, you could put the save the date or the date onto this section here so that when it stands up, it sits proud. And all I need to do then is just simply add on, and we'll just get some of my hot glue going. I'm just going to add on my flowers. I'm using hot glue, and these are just some commercially bought flowers that match the sort of ones you would use for a wedding. And I'm just going to bend those over a little bit. There we go, the right place, so that when we fold it up, we have our finished card. Very simple, very easy, very elegant, and would make a great, as I say, invitation, wedding card, or save the date card.